incredible is that? I just want to start by getting a round of applause for the audio-visual, video, and graphics teams. What an amazing job. Put your hands together for the team. Absolutely incredible. My name's Alan Smithson. I'm the founder and CEO of Unlimited Awesome, and it is my distinct and amazing pleasure and honor to be here on stage with you, Lucy. Lucy, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up on this incredible stage.
Thank you, Alan. Well, firstly, I echo the wow. My jaw has been on the floor since I arrived this morning. And thank you to Jeffrey and the fantastic team that have put this together. I came in completely blind, naked, literally birthed here. I did not know what to expect. And yeah, so I can tell you a little bit about my background and what I've learned in the last 10 very intense hours and how we might be able to take some of the things I've learned over to NEVO and vice versa. So I work for a protocol called Polkadot, which is a layer zero blockchain. So the main focus is to bring the technological vision of Web3 alive. Gavin Wood, who founded Polkadot, coined the term Web 3.0, and unlike other blockchains which sort of exist in their own sort of arena, Polkadot's main vision is to bridge the gap, bridge over from chain to chain and create this community that Web3 was supposed to be all about. And Dr. Jeffrey, from what I can see, is doing the exact same thing here, but doing it probably, I think he's years and years ahead of anybody else I've seen, and doing it with the people, not just the technology, which is incredible.
You know, one of the biggest things about Web3, the promise of it is decentralization is one thing, but community is the real promise of this technology. It was meant to democratize and give everybody access to finance, give them access to technology. You've been building a community for Polkadot. What does the Polkadot community mean to the people that are involved in it, and how does it compare to what we have here?
So, I think community it's the buzzword of right now. Across it transcends all generations, it transcends all geographies, all cultures, races, religions, and it has a different meaning to different people. And the thing that I have seen bring down community after community in the business sense is obviously when you bring in the financials. And ultimately Web3 was founded on Bitcoin, on decentralizing finance. And I think, so for me, why I came into this space, a little bit about my background. I come from a medical family. They're all medical professionals, doctors, professors. And I'm a little bit black sheep. So I was always looking to do something to give back and to make a real difference. And I think when some people say they want to make a difference, they want to change the world, it's changing it rather than making a difference. I think they're two quite different things. So for me and a lot of the Polkadot community, it is about people, it's about being, I think Web3 was born through a group of people who perhaps were not, your mainstream popular kids. They were gamers, they were technology.
You had to be nerdy to figure out how to get it.
I was trying to avoid saying that.
Nerdy? Cool.
So, I think it was founded, it was a safe space for people that maybe have not found their place elsewhere in the traditional world. And that's what I see it as, that I think creating a space where you can find your tribe within a wider safe space is the key, and I think that's what I'm seeing here. For Polkadot, there's always a divide in Web3 in general, but it's sort of the OG, people that have been around Bitcoin mining and kind of pre-2019, and then there's everyone else. And this is meant to be a movement for everyone, so that I started a project, the Polkadot Ambassador Fellowship, which is the world's first on-chain ambassador program. It's a rank-based system. It's based on contribution, and it's not linked to salaries, but you can earn rewards. Very similar to what's happening here. I think so. That there's a lot of crossover, but I think there's one thing that I've learned, and it actually came from a compliment that a very good friend of mine gave me about 10 years ago. We're very different people, and it started off with, I never thought we would be friends. I thought, well, that's nice. Where's this going? And he said, we're so different backgrounds, different personalities, but he said, you're the least judgmental person I've ever met. And that's probably still to this day the best compliment I've ever been given. And I think if you can base a community around not being judgmental, with it comes kindness, acceptance, all good things come and start with that. So that's what I think the core of any community could be, if we put it down to something. So, but it also means community can mean different things to different people, but it's based around this one pillar of acceptance.
You know what's really interesting? I'm new to the Right Arms project. I met Jeffrey 6 months ago now. He invited us into this beautiful community. And one thing that I noticed that is incredible is the enormous diversity of people here. The people here come from all walks of life. They are professionals, they are workers, they are white and Chinese, and every nation under the sun is represented in this room. But the one thing you all have in common is that you work together. And that is the key for Web3, in my opinion, because all the projects that I've seen that fall apart is when people forget that and they try to work for themselves. And that's why I love what you've built here, Dr. Jeffrey. It's really incredible. What have you seen in the Polkadot community from things that didn't work and maybe how they can fix it?
Yeah, so I think decentralization is one of the hardest things to get right. I don't think anybody, Polkadot, for those of you that don't know Polkadot, it is the most decentralized organization in the world. Has a Nakamoto coefficient of, I think it's over 172 now. To put that into context, the next most decentralized blockchain is around 60, I think. So there are no leaders, there are no bosses, there are no managers. There is one pot of money, and every penny that is spent is voted on by or not voted.
But that also causes problems.
And this is what is the root of money is the root of all evil, as they say. And this is the problem when you're decentralizing a community and using decentralized finance. And the money and the ego is the big problem. And like you, it's both of our first days of school being here. It feels like that. I know we're at nice events and everyone's in a good mood, but I do get the genuine impression that this is a problem that Dr. Jeffrey is really onto something here.
You know what the difference is? The organizations that they promote make money, they create real value. And a lot of the tokens, the meme coins, they're just a store of value. They don't create value. And I think that's the biggest difference with this community, is that you guys here are creating real value. And I think that's one of the biggest differences that I've seen in all the Web3 community. I went to Consensus a couple years ago, and everybody was just talking about making more money. And then I went to NFT NYC, and everybody was talking about making a difference. And it feels like the Right Arms Project and the people in this room are looking to do both. Is that what you've seen?
Exactly, yes. And I think, like you said, people are looking to extract value out of things, but it feels like the people in this room don't just value the money stuff, they value each other. And that's the really key difference. I think everybody has to feel that they're in it together, that there's, of course, something you get out of it. Everyone has to put food on the table, everyone has different types of lifestyle. But take that all away and you have a group of people. So I think there's a lot of practical things that Polkadot has done well, and the Ambassador Fellowship has done well, and I wrote the Polkadot Ambassador Manifesto, which is an academic document on the community, which is a weird concept in itself.
And you're saying you're a nerd yourself?
No, I did not say that. But yeah, I think that we have something called open governance, which I already alluded to, but the Ambassador Fellowship itself is an on-chain collective. So now we have governance within an open governance system, and which will control its own treasury and make its own decisions and things like that. Obviously all DAOs do, but this has its own treasury, its own community, and I see this potentially growing into something like that as well, almost. Because once you've got the community part right, I always wanted the Polkadot, and hope the Polkadot Ambassador Fellowship will be like a village, every village, or in the UK, where I'm from, every village has a school and a shop and a church and a pub, and they all kind of serve each other. And I hope that this is what NEVO is already doing, and I love it to learn from.
You know, one of the things that I learned today about this new project, NEO 3.0, is that when you have individual companies, organizations, and products, they all work in silos. But when you bring them all together, you can share things like administration, marketing, you can share things like graphic design, videographers. You end up having a pool of very talented people that everybody can tap into, because let's be honest, not every company needs a full-time CMO, but if you can divide that among the companies, you end up dividing your resources, you end up having more resources together. And I think that's one thing that this NEVO group has really pulled together. And let's have a round of applause for NEVO 3.0. I think it's time for dinner. Is there one last thing you want to give this group, a piece of advice that you've learned over your years of experience? What's one piece of advice you would give this group to make them successful into the next 5 to 10 years?
I think it's going back to what I said before. So be non-judgmental and value every single person the same. You don't know who somebody is, what they bring to the table, what their skill set is, who they are as a person. So go in with an open mind, and you'll be surprised the magic that can come from a group of people all seeing good in each other and working together.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Round of applause for Lucy Coulden.
That's an amazing talk by Lucy. And she is the Global Director of Polkadot, and I'm an ambassador for Polkadot, and we are so glad to have this event.
感谢我们的这一个 Miss Lucy 的这个分享，然后还有我们的 Mr. Alan 的这一个精彩的访问，然后他们的这个交流呢，让我们可以针对我们的NEVO 3.0，还有我们的Web3时代的这一个强强联手。
See you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.
那么接下来时间呢？